Welcome back everyone to episode 8 of the 4X Alchemist full game commentary. I'm David, playing the Cravers, and let's get into the game. We're on turn 76 right now. We have basically completed our war, actually we totally completed our war against the pink Cravers over here, and are at a pretty interesting decision point. We can either continue kind of our war path down here into the Lumeris and kind of finish our inner circle, try and take all this inner circle, or we can jump to the outer circle and fight this Horatio over here at Lyra. Or, I guess our third option is to go through this wormhole and kind of come up through this way, because it looks like these are all, there's like a system here and maybe another system here, and it looks like these are all kind of connected. So we can just kind of sweep through this way. And then the fourth option, the one that I'm leaning towards most, is both fighting the Horatio on this front and then fighting the Lumeris on this front. If we look at our score, we can see that we are significantly more powerful than both of them, actually both of them combined. So that's why I think I should be able to maintain a two-front war without too much difficulty. Another thing I want to do early in this video is address some questions that were fielded by some of the comments, specifically from user TDS. He or she asked, how do I have so many command points? And the answer to that is the Cravers have a passive trait called Big Fleets 2, which give them +2 command points on the Empire just passively. They just, when everyone else starts with 4 command points, they start with 6, and they just have 2 more at every step. The other reason is that I've prioritized getting command points throughout the game. If you watched in my early episodes, I got Autonomous Construction incredibly early, which gives you an extra 3 CP, putting me up to 9. And then, again, I prioritized getting this one, the alloys, the chitinous alloys, which gives you another 3 CP. And you can see as soon as I unlock the next tier of the military tree, the first thing I go for every single time is, again, the CP. So, and that's because I think my ships are kind of on the same ground as the enemies. I don't have any enemy fleets in vision at the moment, but my ships are comparable to maybe slightly stronger than theirs. But what the advantage that I can get is just overwhelming numbers, really leveraging that 2 extra CP and maybe an additional CP technology just to kind of do swarm tactics and overcome them on sheer numbers, because my production is so strong and all of my places have the capability of switching to ships. I've already built all of my standard foundational infrastructure in all of my places, so they can switch to just producing ships without too much of a problem. And that's really how you leverage extra CP bonuses as compared to like extra better weapon bonuses. Like if I had prioritized getting these better weapons or these better weapons over here instead of just getting CP, that would make my existing ships stronger, and then you could fight better on equal ship numbers. But since I already have a ship number advantage, might as well just amplify that as much as possible. His next question, and I'm just going to call you a he because I think 99.8% of my viewer base or something is male, so I'm just going to assume based on statistics that you're a male. If I'm wrong, I apologize. The next one was, you have a quest to explore an anomaly on a planet, but it keeps saying that you don't have the required expedition level, yet you can't find anything that changes that in the skill tree. So expedition level is determined by your science and exploration quadrant, which is this bottom one. And you can see that on a couple of these right side technologies, there are these kind of curiosities with the question mark, and that determines your detection and expedition level. So the first one is baryonic shielding, which increases your detection level to from 2 to 3, which means you can see level 3 curiosities, but you can't do anything with them. That's what the curiosity with the lock on it means. And then it also allows you to interact with or explore curiosity level 2s. The ones that previously had the lock on them now become available for expeditions. And then I think the second, so the second one on the tech tree is evaporation inhibitors, and that increases your detection from 3 to 4 and expedition from 2 to 3. And I believe there's one last one, low Kelvin sciences, which allows you to do all of them, and as well as doing them from a distance, to explore all curiosities as well as exploring them from a distance. So that's kind of that's what the curiosity level means. Although I think most quest curiosities that I've run into are fairly low level, like 1 or 2. I've never had the problem of not having the expedition power level in order to explore them. So it's possible that you might not have the resources to do it. Some of them cost, 50 titanium, or the 10 Hyperion, or the 10 what are they called, antimatter 10 and adamantium quest. So that would be the other thing that I would look at, just in case. So it might just be some weird text from the game. So first look into to make sure that you have these 2 texts researched, and that's not the problem. And then the other thing I would look at would be to look at your look at the requirements for the quest and make sure you have those strategic resources stored. Okay, and I think those are all of the questions that have been fielded so far. Again, if you have anything else that you want me to talk about, or any questions that you have, I will address them as soon as I make a new video after I've read your questions. And thank you all for the feedback. As you may have noticed, I added the game sounds into the background. Kind of an oversight on my part on the last couple episodes, or all of the previous episodes, because I didn't know how easy it was going to be. I thought I was going to have to, play it through my speakers, and then you guys, and just rely on the feedback. But I actually found out how to just pull the sound output directly from my computer using my recording software. So hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy it a little bit more, and it won't just be silent with me talking over it. Okay, so let's get back into the game. We have our dude here, who is a governor. He's giving us some influence. Yes, I believe we went down and took this place. These guys are coming on back. Yep. I haven't played this game in a while, this specific game, because I've been making, if you guys caught my Riftborn guide and all that. So I'm kind of refamiliarizing myself with what I'm doing and what needs to be done. Okay. So we got this guy over here. What is this made of? Ooh, some wasps and hornets. That's nice. I think I might send him. We have 2 fleets over here already. I think I'm going to send him over here to be kind of a backup fleet. Alright, got some more slaves. Alright, where is Gaius? Oh, there it is. Alright, so that might output. Yep, that kind of threw off the balance there. So let's go back to content. This is almost depleted. Oops. No, come on. We want definitely some level 2 modernization, because we got a bunch of people. Give us some more science. Some anomalies. Yeah, so let's just have this guy kind of up his science output, is I think going to be the most important thing for now. See, everyone else is kind of doing food and ships. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing mostly. Oh yeah, I remember. I was focusing on doing some of these planetary terraformings and upping my food production, and then getting these guys happy. Okay, I remember what I'm doing now. Okay, so we got these guys. Ugh, this place is, It's not great. This was their capital, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's Husk. Yep, so we'll just do some more science, and yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't think I can do anything for them other than that. Alright, these guys. These guys. Multiple moons. Interesting. Yeah, those guys are also kind of beyond my help. Alright, so I think what I'm just going to do is start my wars, because as Cravers, if we're not fighting someone, we're not doing our jobs. So, we're going to grab these two fleets and head on over and start picking a fight with the Lumeris. Alright. Those guys start moving. Great. These guys are moving. I'm losing population. Gonos, Ihaz, and Jovantis. I believe those are the places I just took. Yep. So they're still unhappy from me just taking them, which is to be expected. Alright. So I built this guy here, basically just so that he could throw out a bunch of probes, and I get kind of a better idea of what I'm getting into. Let's see, other things. Yep, so he's just doing some terraforming, which is great. Okay, let's see, does anyone need my help? Nope, so we'll just end the turn there. Alright, the other thing that we are building up towards, if you guys remember, we have to go fight this guy at the Infinite Factory and take it over, but the fleet at the Infinite Factory is insanely strong, with, you know, something like 4,000 power or something like that. Yeah, about 5,000 power, actually. So it's going to be a little while until we can actually fight that. So we're just going to leave it alone for a while. Okay, so getting back to these guys, this is going to be the most beneficial, and then this, because this is going to give us, yeah, +5 on all of those guys. That's going to be plus, what is that? 20. Actually, I don't think so. Actually, it's going to be the other way around. Yep. Alright, who else needs direction? Looks like everyone's pretty much good, except for these guys down here. Okay, so do we have any? We have one anomaly here. Might as well take advantage of it. Ooh, that is so much production. I love it. Alright, now let's start getting them happy. At least, you know, minorly. And yeah, let's get the Academy Embassy. And before that, let's grab a feeding pits, eat one of these guys, just so, you know, maybe I can get them happy and not losing population, even at the expense of one. Alright, next. Again, let's get these guys. They have some slave population. So how close are they? They're pretty close. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to grab these guys and bring them over here to get rid of slavery. And then we're going to do one feeding pits to take this from 6 to 31, and that's going to take them into content, and they will stop losing food from being mutinous. And hopefully that will fix that problem, at least temporarily. And if I have to go back to it soon, then well, I will. Okay, so that's it for the economy. And I think these guys are going to be arriving this turn. They are indeed. I only have, yeah, so I have my one military hero, and then my two governor heroes. So it's unfortunate that these guys, my Horatio campaign, is not going to be able to be led by anyone, which is kind of a bummer, but not the worst thing in the world. Alright, so we're going to have our termite fleet and our standard fleet, and I think we're just going to head right on over here to Lyra and start taking over the Horatio. And I don't know if there's going to be anything he can do about it. Alright, next thing, ooh, we have our level 2 bonuses up. So, yeah, so unfortunately the level 2 and level 3 resources that we have are all the manpower resources and the defense resources, so it's total crap, totally useless for us, which is, you know, really unfortunate. So let's see what we already are using blue cat mold. We could use Eden Incense and Red Sang to get us a little bit more influence and food, which wouldn't be a bad idea. With all of our places becoming depleted, we're actually going to start having some significant hunger problems, and then, you know, more influence is going to let us sustain our fleet or our laws. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the food and influence resources, and that's going to be our level 2 modernization. Fortunately, unfortunately, we're not producing very much Eden Incense, so it's going to be kind of a slow development, but we'll be able to supplement that with our ludicrous strategic resource production, and we'll just have to, you know, be selling these and buying those, basically. Classic Lumeris strategy. Okay, so you can see they're not too expensive, so if we buy 100 of these, just, you know, 8.5K, not too big of a deal. Alright, so let's throw them down. Alrighty, so get that. Yeah, and you can see that since we're not super happy everywhere, my dudes are not growing as fast as I would want them. As you can see, our biggest population is only 27, which is not as good as I would want it to be. And it's actually, you know, the place that we stole from the computer. So hopefully this this food production is going to help us out in that way. Yeah, you can see that my main place still only has 14 people, and that's, you know, problematic is not the correct word, but non-optimal. I'd like to have more people, and so this is going to be, I think, the best way to do it. All right, the other thing that we want to start looking out for are these, I forget exactly what they're called, but they're like basalt gems or some sort of gems, and it reduces the overpopulation happiness or unhappiness level from overpopulation by 50%. And since we're going for that huge supremacy victory, that's going to give us like 150 happiness or something absurd like that. So we're just going to keep an eye out for it. If we can get some, great. If not, well, oh well. Okay, who else needs this? I think Zubin is also going to need, is going to be our next target for this. Okay, other than that, I think that's about all I have to do this turn. We've successfully eliminated the pink Cravers. Alright. So the other interesting thing that I have talked about, and I think someone mentioned in the comments, is ignoring all of the happiness resources and all of that, and instead just going to a religious governor, a religious political party. And the reason for that is this law right here, Saints and Sinners Bill, which forces the approval rating to content on all of your systems. And in that way, you don't have to worry about, you know, happiness or unhappiness or anything like that. It just forces everyone to be content. And I think that's probably the best way to go if you're trying to get a supremacy victory. But I said at the very beginning of this series that I'm looking to do it with happiness resources. So if I kind of give up basically and find out that that's impossible to do it just with happiness resources, sure, we'll flip over to this. But I really want to try not to. I want to try and maintain my militarist standing, or, you know, if I have to switch over to like industrialist or something. But I'm going to try and do it do the supremacy victory without using the Saints and Sinners bill. Another possibility is actually going over to ecologists and getting these, the plus 10 happiness per population types, and kind of doing some of that population reordering. But it doesn't seem very very Craver-y, if you ask me. You know, yay, you're going to facilitate healthy relationships with the other races. Exactly the opposite of of what I imagine Cravers would say. Okay, so these guys are still mutinous, so let's get them some happiness resources, and after they get some more food. Okay, we got another general leveling up, getting us some more industry. Awesome. Alright, where are my generals assigned right now? They are in Liesel and Gyalka. So I have one in my main place. And I think I want to bring one over to Prokagon. I think this is my second best place, or this might even be my best place. And it's going to be producing stuff really quickly. Excuse me, really quick. Speaking of it. Okay. Yeah, so I think he's going to not only level up the fastest here, but also be of the most use, because he's going to be producing a whole bunch of influence there, and that's going to help expand our influence, and, you know, allow us to generate. Wow, that went down a huge amount. Are these guys still mutinous? No, they're just unhappy. Oh, okay, they're still unhappy, which sucks. Even with the bonus from feeding pits. What I think it's going to be time to do is take off Super Tax Act, because we don't really need the money too much anymore, and then maybe put on Brains over Bucks instead to get that bonus science. So we're not going to be producing nearly as much dust, but we're going to get much more science, and it's going to help our overall happiness. You can see we went from almost everyone being unhappy or mutinous to kind of neutral at best. Okay. So ship movements going on. Wow, my nose is so itchy. Excuse me. Okay. We want them out. Well, tough. They're coming and they're going to stay. Alright, so these guys are blockading my new place, which is not what I want them to be doing. They're still losing food. That's kind of okay. Yeah, so I might make a small ship, like maybe a mantis, and just kind of go shoo them off. Because I don't like my places being blockaded. It hurts my dust production, hurts their growth. It's generally just bad for business. Okay, so I think I'm going to have these guys come down and be our support fleet as well. We're not too worried about the Sophons declaring war on us. Okay, so those guys can also start heading over there, and I think that's going to be the end of the turn. Alright. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play too much, make too much progress in the game, because I answered those questions at the beginning, but I think that's worthwhile, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, or at least appreciated it. Alright, looks like we got another trade company unlocked, and we definitely want to build that as soon as possible, because trade companies give exponential growth to your economy. So as long as you put them in the correct places and do some investments into them, which I probably should be doing more of, but yeah. So mine's generating, you know, not too much, but a little. I mean, those numbers get up to 10,000, 15,000 per turn, especially if you're like Lumeris or something. Investing into your trade companies is 100% essential to winning the game. Now this is an interesting debacle in that I can't, so I can have all of my Cravers on this planet, and be content, but if I want to start utilizing this place, I can't. Because I have too many Cravers and I have to kick one over here, and that drives all of these slaves and makes them mutinous. So I think even though this place is depleted, keeping them over here is going to be the best plan. Alright, but it needs production. So I think what I'm going to do is grab some sustainable farms and some of those. I really don't like eco-habitats unless you're playing Horatio. So eco-habitats, as you can see, gives one population slot on all sterile planets, but since we are terraforming away from sterile planets anyways, it doesn't really give that much utility. I suppose Horatio and Riftborn are the only two that can really make use of that. Horatio, oh Nikes. My termites arrived first, and so we're going to have this delay again. Damn it, it's so annoying. I should really start paying attention to that more, and make sure that my fleet gets there first. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, so these guys are just slightly faster than my actual fleet, so that's too bad. Alright, and what are we running into? 900, or 8, what was that? Reading's hard. Yeah, 900 power versus my 3,000 power. So that really shouldn't be that big of a difference, but we can do a comparison. You can see that, I guess, they're just super weak. So their standard ship has 90 attack and 120 defense, versus mine, which is 200 attack and 216 defense. So we're significantly stronger than they are. It shouldn't really be that difficult. The only delay is now that our termites are going to be taking, what was it, like 7 turns to go back here and then back. Really annoying. Really, really, really annoying. Alright, so next step. Yay, we're potent. Okay. So, yeah, I think this is going to be good. Why is this infinite? We can't do AI labor. Oh, it's probably because we terraformed away from the only sterile planet that we have colonized. That's the only way I can see. I don't know why else it would be that way. But that's okay. We'll just keep that there in case we ever get to another hot planet, which I don't think we can with this setup. But we'll try anyways. Alright, get a little bit more dust. Wow, these guys, this production here is just horrendous. This is why I hate cold planets. They're just, like a system of only cold planets is just destined to be borderline useless. Which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, it looks like we are not connected anywhere, or so that these two constellations are not connected. So let's send some more probes kind of this way, because it looks like this is a new constellation that must kind of stretch down in this direction, which might be worth exploring. Okay, those guys are almost there, those guys are almost there. Is this place worth colonizing? Not even a little bit. Again, all ice planets, or all cold planets. Okay. Alright, so let's grab this curiosity really quick. And we have some quadronics. Alright, 4 fleets not doing anything. We've got you guys, which means we need to declare our war on the Lumeris. Alright, so now we can fight their big fleet here, kill their stuff. Alright, so someone also asked to do one of the 3D cinematics of one of these bigger battles, and I'm going to one-up you a little bit. So we can see that their Brig 11s are all short range, the short range lasers, so we want to stay away from Turtle as much as possible. And we're actually going to go to power to the shields. Let's see, and we're going to want to keep our missileers back here. Yep, so I think that one's going to be good. And I think Let's see, so we got more wasps and more. Alright, so we just have wasps and hornets. I think I'm going to pull this guy over there. And that should be our distribution. I think that's going to be a good distribution. And so what we're going to do is we're going to watch this battle. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of the battle kind of as it's happening. And that's going to be the end of this episode. I'm going to do this battle, explain it a little bit, and then that will be the end of the episode since we're reaching our 30-minute deadline. Alright, so when you're watching a battle, you can do this cool 3D cinematic like this, but what I highly suggest if you want to learn how battle mechanics work is go to the overview camera. And what this does is it gives you a layout of how the battle is going to take place and the different stages of the battle. So you can see I picked power to the shields, so it's medium, long, medium, and he picked, it looks like, turtle, which is short, short, medium. And you can see I start at long range here and then gradually get close the distance as he goes to short. So it's going to be like medium right here and stay in phase 2, and then short here in phase 3. These guys start at medium here, and then they kind of come in and close distance, and this is going to be short range here. And then these two fleets maintain medium distance the whole time. You can see that they kind of keep this gap between them. And so when we put this into play, we can see not only how the ships are moving, but also what guns are being used. Yeah, so this is me, sorry. I'm white. So I'm trying to stay at long range as much as possible, and you can kind of see, and so now that the battle's begun, you can see which phases they start at. So we have long range and long range here, and then medium range here. Interesting, he must have picked something else other than turtle. I'm not sure. Anyways, but you can see what distance at each phase of the battle is. And so these are obviously flotilla numbers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is the distance between the flotillas. You can see I'm using all of my missiles and my projectile guns because that's what my guys are equipped with, and they can't shoot back yet because they're all equipped with their laser weapons. So the goal of this battle for me is to kill as many of them as possible before they can close these distances. Alright, so let's let the battle play out a little bit. You can see down here whenever a ship is destroyed, which looks like basically every time we use our missiles, boom, another one goes down. So yeah, so it looks like this fight's going to go pretty easily, which is kind of what we expected just based on power numbers. But now, here's another important thing. You can see that we have destroyed all of the ships in Flotilla 1, and this little thumbs up happened. And that means now we have more active flotillas. So we have 3 flotillas to their 2. And it means that all of our ships now gain 10% damage bonus and 5% accuracy. And you can also see that now that our ships are no longer have any targets in Flotilla 2, they're now targeting Flotilla 3 with all of their long-range weapons. So as we continue this battle, you can see now our Flotilla 2 is shooting over here with their I misspoke there. They are targeting here with their medium weapons and over here with their long-range weapons. And you can see that, yep, we just saw the missiles come out over here, and you can see this targeting line reaching all the way over to Flotilla 1, and then these targeting lines reaching Flotilla 3. So we can watch it play out a little bit more. I think Flotilla 3 is going to collapse first before Flotilla 1. Yes, they did. So now that we have 3 flotillas to their 1, we have 2 thumbs up, which is giving us these bonuses times 2. And you can see that these guys, as soon as this dies, there we go, these guys can't target over here because flotillas can only attack adjacent flotillas. Alright, so I hope that was a little bit better explanation of the battle system than what I've done in the past. And I'm planning on oh yeah, so look at this. They took Get Lucky, which is medium, short, medium, which is a terrible idea considering all of their damage is short. That requires me to close on them. Really dumb. Yeah, so keep a lookout for a series of videos I'm going to do just on explaining the intricacies of the battle system, because I feel like I have a whole bunch of insights on them, because I just play Cravers all the time and that's all they do, that a lot of people don't understand or don't know the exact details of. So keep an eye out for it. I'm going to be getting around to it hopefully soon, and then that will be a more detailed and better explanation than this little short version that I gave here. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up this episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.